I'm going to do an insight video today. I've talked a lot about Ascended Masters, and I think I'm just going to do like a little insight one today around what do they do, what the purpose of the Ascended Masters, um, and how do they work with us really. So in a sense, Ascended Master is like an illumined being. An illumined being means, like in definition, is a being that's come down to the planet, walked on the earth, achieved ascension, um, and sort of like gained wisdom, knowledge, attained a higher spiritual understanding and awareness. And when they've sort of like moved over into like where you say the spirit world, or you say like or have just moved over and they've sort of like transformed, and they've been moved through like the physical life, and they've gone back into the realities of energy and light and the dimensions of light, and then they've sort of like agreed then to sort of like come back and work with humanity, and work with humanity on like on a collective scale, a grand scale. They don't work with like one being, they work with all beings, and they're here in service of all beings. And again, this isn't just Ascended Masters, this works with universal teachers, this works with archangels. Archangels are like universal beings that were never born, are like these infinite beings of light and energy that bring wisdom and understanding back to us as souls. And it's to like sort of like to realign us with our infinite source energy, our infinite source light, and sort of vibration frequency of us being like these spiritual light beings. And angels work with us to bring us back into consciousness, back into harmony, back into balance, back into understanding. They bring wisdom, and angels work in service. They serve us, but they're not serving us as like servants. They're serving us as trying to bring us back into this understanding that we are born of light. We are light beings. That we're all these spiritual beings that are that are walking on this planet, and we're all here. And each and every one of them, like the Ascended Masters, the universal teachers, and the angels are all here for this time, for this age. And in spiritual reality and dimension, it works like in cycles, but the cycles work in a way of like spiritual ages. So you go back to like spiritual ages of like Lemuria and Atlantis, and you can talk about the Mayans as well. And in that sense, there's cycles of consciousness that happen in the planet, and the Ascended Masters and universal teachers and archangels have worked many times in many different sort of lifetimes to try and bring this knowledge and this wisdom back. So in that sense, like there's many Ascended Masters, there's infinite Ascended Masters, because an Ascended Master is a being that's achieved sort of enlightenment on the planet. They've ascended, they've reached a level of wisdom and understanding and awareness in a physical incarnation, that when they move over to the spiritual realities and realms, then they sort of like they transform into these higher beings, these light beings, and they bring back this wisdom and this understanding, and they bring it back for the age, for all beings to access. And when we access that, then obviously then we start to bring and integrate this new level of consciousness, this new wisdom, this new energy back to the planet, and it's to shift it. All planets, all realities are connected. They're all one vibration. They're all one frequency. There is no separation. Separation is the illusion of the physical mind, but the spiritual and the universal mind knows that there is only one vibration, and we all work, and we're all born of that vibration. So there is no separation, and in that sense, in that way, so there's this constant evolution, ever evolving evolution of wisdom, consciousness, spiritual light and energy that's constantly flowing to the planet. And these beings, these universal beings, these Ascended Masters bring these universal truths, this universal wisdom back to the planet. And each and every one of us, as these beings, we have this sort of aspect of ourselves. We've got this physical self, this human self, and then we have this infinite self, which is the higher self. and each and every one of our aspect of ourself, which is the higher self or the infinite self, has the ability to channel and sort of access this infinite wisdom uh, to bring back to the planet, but also allows us, each and every one of us, to be an open channel to receive wisdom, receive understanding, and receive insight. And this is how the masters are working with us, and this is how the universal teachers are working with us, and this is how the angels are working with us. And these universal sort of like these ascended masters in as universal teachers are part of like as many sort of like councils and many different sort of collectives that work for each reality in each dimension. So the ascended masters might not just work on this planet; they might work in different sort of realities in different dimensions, because there are many different dimensions within the spiritual reality and the spiritual sort of the spirit world that goes beyond this plane of existence. And you know, many of us sort of like, because we're here, you know, we don't always think about that, but there's an infinite sort of there's an infinite realities that are sort of manifest, that are sort of like vibrating in different realities, and they're also connected to this planet, and they're bringing information and knowledge and wisdom to this time and this age, which is really, really important as we move into new spiritual ages. It brings a new spiritual sort of like consciousness and understanding and awareness, and each and every one of us that are here now have come for that reason. We've come here for that reason, and this is what the ascended masters did, and this is what all beings, all the ascended masters that did when they incarnated. They came for the age, and it was to bring new consciousness to the planet. And many of us are sort of like moving through that sort of process now, and this is what's going on with the earth. There's many sort of souls that are still trying to awaken. They're still trying to move past that three-dimensional reality and awaken, and once again to the ascension process, which is the awareness that you are all, you know, that the ascension process is coming back to oneness, that we know that we are spiritual beings, that we're spiritual light, and we hold these vibrations and these frequencies of consciousness, and we've come down here. So there's levels of our consciousness that each and every one of us have come down with, and you know, and as we walk through this path and we ascend in a sense, we start to become aware. We start to open up new levels of consciousness within our energy and within our energy field, but within our frequency and within our vibration. And as we start to do that, then we start to integrate it, and then that starts to create a new reality, a different spiritual reality within our own experience. But it also then starts to help and activate and open up energy lines and energy fields within all consciousness on the planet, within all vibration and consciousness frequencies that are within the planet. And this is the point of being here, that we're all here to expand consciousness, expand awareness, start to sort of like become aware that, you know, that we're all one vibration, one frequency. There's no separation. We have an infinite flow of information from the divine intelligence or the divine source that each and every one of us are born of, and each and every one of us can access. And this is how the angels and the masters and the universal teachers work with us, and this is the purpose of why we're all here. So for me, it's like, for each and every one of us, we're all on our on a pathway of enlightenment. We're all on a pathway of sort of ascension, and it's about us sort of like aligning with that, and then starting to sort of bring online our own gifts, our own truths, our own understanding, because each and every one of our souls hold infinite wisdom and infinite tools and gifts from different lifetimes. And when we've incarnated on this planet in this time, in this age, we've come for a reason. We've come to bring those gifts back and become aware of them, so we can start to align the planet again to create this spiritual reality on this planet. So once we create a better spiritual reality, or a more in line and harmonious spiritual reality, then we start to align it again with the infinite reality, which is the universal realities and these universal sort of consciousness of these many different realities and realms. And this is why we're all here, and this is the purpose of it, and this is how the Ascended Masters sort of like work with us. They work with us in that way, that they bring insight, wisdom, Illumination again is this wisdom, this understanding. It's the wisdom of the soul. It's the wisdom of source energy and this infinite sort of source energy, consciousness and vibration, and that they're working with us to bring us online again, so that we can start to vibrate and walk in the light and walk in this light frequency, to start to create a new energy frequency and energy consciousness on the planet. And this is what this time's about, and this is how they work with us. So when you start talking about people like Al Moira that are working with the divine intelligence, the divine source, the infinite source, it's about opening us up to the consciousness that we're all spiritual beings and we're all channels of light and energy, that we can receive this information and receive this understanding that, you know, we are being divinely guided. We are being divinely guided by you know, the ray of like Al Moira, which is this blue ray of infinite wisdom and consciousness. And again, sort of like you got Lord Lanto that works with is a lumen being, and it was very much around illumination, but it was more about integration, and working within, sort of like walking as light and energy, walking as an illumined one, bringing that harmony, that vibration of harmony of creation within this reality. And again, you've got like Ascended Master Jesus that brings presence of peace, understanding. Again, it's harmony, it's walking as that light, as that source light energy. Each and every one of them are each and every one of them brings this understanding, and each and every one of us each and every one of these beings connects us to the source energy, that we're this vibration with this energy, and it's about integrating within your own sort of consciousness and your own reality now. And this is what Ascended Master, he was bringing, Master Jesus was bringing the spiritual light, the spiritual truth, and the spiritual wisdom to this to that age of evolution, that cycle of evolution, when he existed on the planet. And there's many more. You know, they talk about Merlin as an Ascended Master, which is about alchemy, creation. It's about, again, using consciousness in a way that you create reality, you create understanding, you create wisdom, and you integrate it, but you live your life and you walk as a spiritual being of light, and know that physical reality, again with the universal law of correspondence, is only a reflection of the light and the energy and the consciousness that you're creating. So your consciousness directly creates your reality. So whatever you're creating, like through your source energy, and then you sort of integrate within your universal or your spiritual consciousness, then creates your physical reality. And this is how the universal law of correspondence works. You've got Archangel Michael that's working with truth, understanding, wisdom again. He's very much around transmutation and transformation again, and he works closely obviously with Saint Germain, who works on transmutation and transformation as well, which is bringing forth that we're all awakening to being these spiritual beings of light and energy, and it's about bringing this into our reality again, into our consciousness, and to create a spiritual reality for each and every one, and a spiritual experience. But again, that, like you're saying, that connects, doesn't just connect on a singular level, that connects on an infinite level, because it connects to our consciousness, then allows us to manifest and create as a spiritual being. And what that does is that creates a new reality, a new awareness, a new way of being. You've always got Serapis Bay, which is very much around sort of the white colour, the white sort of like colour of like clarity, consciousness. But obviously Serapis Bay is bringing us back into ascension, bringing us back into oneness, knowing that we're sort of like this source energy, this source creation, and that, you know, awakening to know that we walk as light, we walk as energy. And as you can see, there's a thread through all these messages that the Ascended Masters are bringing, the teachings, or maybe they might have like a ray of a specific consciousness, but all these consciousness have the same sort of message, that they all come back to oneness, they all come back to the source light and creation, and they all sort of work in perfect harmony as they always have done. Again, sort of like Helion is like science and spiritual science, but again the green, or the emerald green, works with like, obviously, you can relate that to like Archangel Raphael, which is about knowledge and wisdom and spiritual truths and understanding. But again, it's like universal wisdom, universal understanding. But Helion again is about like true reality, like it's very much around sort of like consciousness and the understanding of spiritual truths and spiritual understanding again. Um, there's many sort of, you've got Melchizedek, who's like an ascended, not ascended master, but a universal teacher, very much bringing sort of like the universal wisdom, the esoteric wisdom back to each and every one of us. And again, you've got Raziel, the archangel Raziel, that works very much with this, who brings universal wisdom, universal truths, to also, they bring us back to understand that we are universal, we are born of universal energy, but we're all universal beings, we're all part of an infinite community of light and energy that is connected to, and is part of source energy, but we're all part of that. None of us are separate of that. And this is what the masters are bringing us back. They're bringing us back to our soul wisdom, our soul understanding, but also our higher selves and our infinite consciousness, that we're infinite beings of light and energy. And the ascended masters are working on this vibration and this frequency for each and every one of us, as with the archangels. And you'll see the archangels and the ascended masters work in harmony together, as all things do within the spirit world. It's all about harmony, it's all about alignment, it's about sort of working in oneness. Everything is about oneness. There is no separation. The separation is only the physical mind. The universal mind is like an infinite heartbeat that vibrates and beats as one. So this is sort of like how the ascended masters work with us. So that's the insight for today.